Nichols Retirement Empire. Me and Daddy are on our way to our Florida fishing adventure. How's my hair look? Look all right?
Looks good. Did you party?
Yeah, got it parted in the middle. Looks good. We are headed to Florida. Daddy hadn't got to ride on the new boat yet, so we're going to get, hopefully we'll get some footage of catching some fish. We better get some footage of catching some fish. We're gonna ride all the way down there.
We'd like to send a warning down right now to
Yeah.
all the fish down there.
Warning.
Take cover.
It's like a hurricane warning
Yeah.
for people. It's a Nichols fishing warning for the fish.
Yeah, take
so
cover.
so they know ahead of time. Danger.
Get
ahead.
all your little fish up. Hide all your little fish.
Hide the little fish. And tell them who you was telling me you saw on. All right, Daddy got to go see in person in Chattanooga at the Memorial Auditorium, and then you said you saw, what was the other one? Tell them who you saw.
Oh, in the Memorial Auditorium?
Yeah.
Floyd Cramer.
Floyd Cramer. Boots Randolph.
Boots Randolph, and the guy played the guitar,
Chet Atkins.
And you're talking about
In one all together, playing together in one. I bet that was good. And Johnny Cash.
I went to see Johnny Cash at the Tivoli. Him and the Carter sisters, and
Oh, so he wasn't big enough to get into Memorial Auditorium.
who?
Johnny Cash?
Oh, I know him. I
The
never
Tivoli.
seen him there, but
The Tivoli with Johnny Cash, the Carter sisters, and we also got to see in the Memorial Auditorium Andre the Giant. Daddy took me down there when I was little, and he was supposed to wrestle a. That guy was kind of like a motorcycle guy. Remember, he wore that helmet, you know, like the motorcycle. So he was supposed to be like an outlaw biker kind of. And I can't ever remember what his name was. But he was a local, you know, Chattanooga wrestler, and he came out, you know, and everybody, and it was packed out. We were like up in the balcony, you know. It was just, you know, everybody in Rossville and Chattanooga was down there, and so he came out, and he came out, and everybody's cheering. There's Andre the Giant, you know, and he went up to the ring, and when he got in the ring, the other guy jumped out, and then. The other guy never would get back in the ring. And Andre was like, come on. Get in. And then he just left. He left Chattanooga. He never came back. He never was on the TV again. And we were like, we paid all this money. Well, I don't know what you paid. I didn't pay nothing. I was a little kid. Whatever it was he paid.
Let me add this to you. Whenever Andre come out the ring, he reared back and roared like a giant, and 100 people fainted.
Everybody passed out.
Oh, you could hear that all over the auditorium.
He was big. We wasn't anywhere near him. We were way up in the back, but it was. But he was big. That was disappointing. We didn't even get to see him wrestle. All we got to do was see him walk out to the ring, step over the. He would step over the whole ring, like, you know, most guys would raise one up, you know, go in between them. He stepped over the whole thing.
Kind of the most exciting thing was see when all them rednecks got in there and they'd tear the referee's shirt off, you know, throw him out of the ring.
That wasn't in that match, though. That was just regular wrestling.
That was Fargo Brothers, Jackie, Rough House.
Yeah, Chattanooga, that was the thing back then. You really had local shows, like local shows, and you had, you know, Chattanooga had its wrestling, you know, guys. Nick Goulas, Harry Thornton was, you know, and you could watch it every Saturday. You had people that were nationally known that would travel the country, but most of it was local TV.
You know, what they got now.
But we had the Fargo brothers, mainly Jackie Fargo.
Medics.
Fargo Strut. You had the Medics. You had the interns later on. You had Mr. Wrestling number 1, Mr. Wrestling number 2. Those are all your mask wrestlers.
And they had wrestling hillbillies.
Wildcat Jackie, what was his name? Wildcat
Yeah.
Brown?
Yeah. And they had the wrestling hillbillies. They all wrestled in overalls.
Wrestling hillbillies. You had the Sheik, or the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
Who'd we have? We had one, Tojo Yamamoto,
Yeah.
who was the Japanese, and it was still like his World War II. You know, it was in.
He'd chase O'Hare around with that wooden shoe.
It was. It was in the 1970s. World War II had been over a long time, but Tojo Yamamoto was the bad guy, and he would wear the wooden. He had the wooden shoes, and he would chase around the announcer with his wooden shoes.
Then they had that.
We had the Indian. Who was the one that was the Indian chief?
I know who you're talking about. He was a good guy, though, I think.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Everybody liked him. I can't believe I can't think of his name. He had the big headdress,
Yeah.
you know, the whole
Well,
thing.
then they had Abdullah the Butcher.
Abdullah the Butcher, he'd eat paper.
He'd eat it. No, he'd eat a raw fish right up on.
He'd eat anything.
on what's his name's desk.
He wouldn't talk. He would come up, and he was a real big, huge, fat guy, bald-headed, and he would never say anything. And Harry would try to talk to him, and he'd eat something crazy and
Fish.
look at him all
Raw
crazy and eat skin off the fish, and he was crazy.
Well, the true
Yeah.
believers in that, hey, they'd be there, and there wouldn't be but maybe one or two people left on Sand Mountain.
Everybody from Alabama believed it was real. Because Chattanooga, you know, is right there in the corner. It's Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, all right there where they all meet.
Oh, they get mad.
And so the Chattanooga viewing area went all the way up to what? Cleveland,
Yeah.
probably past Cleveland, Tennessee, all the way down into Alabama, all the way down into Georgia. And so, you know, you got some people from the country.
Oh, yeah, most of them are. They get mad, buddy. You don't.
They would come and watch it. It was an experience.
We was down there one night, and them masked medics was wrestling, and they were supposed to unmask him that night. Had a big crowd, and they had that medic down, and his feet was hanging off the ring, and they had him by the mask like this, and had it up to right here. Oh, they're gonna see who it was. I mean, they was fixing to take that mask off. Well, a guy on the first or second row there in them chairs run up there and grabbed that medic by the foot. And he kicked him about 4 rows back. They thought he had already been knocked out.
Don't touch the wrestlers.
Yeah. And when they left the ring, a whole big old crowd just surrounded the ring all the way around it. See, they had to go all the way up to the
The dressing room. You had to be able to.
well, they had to go up to the stage.
Yeah.
So they had them surrounded. And whenever them medics' feet hit the floor, there was hats flying, bottles, and they flung their fists.
It
all
was
the way.
real.
Yeah.
It was real then.
That was real.
If you sat down on the floor, you better at least act like you thought it was real. Don't act like, because you were down there with the believers.
There was
Yeah.
certain believers, and I mean, they was dedicated at it too, buddy.
You'd have old women. There'd be 70-year-old women out there shooting them birds.
Yeah,
cussing them out.
Yeah. There's another one I like now, but Jordan would watch it, and they'd be wrestling, and they supposed to have something down in the Richardson or
Foreign object. Foreign
Yeah.
object.
And they'd reach down there. He's got it. He's got a pole on Ralph. He's got some powder, Ralph, and they'd just holler, you know.
Yeah.
And the referee here wouldn't be looking all over, you know.
What are you talking about?
And then
I don't see anything.
tear his shirt off him and throw him out of the ring.
No holds barred.
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Oh, he'd come down and beat for somebody, and that guy with him, he'd put him in a body sag.
Put him in the bag.
Throw him back in. Take him out of the ring.
Yep.
Oh.
Real wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
That stuff is real. That
Wrestling
was, yeah.
with an R.
Yeah.
Wrestling. When you start wrestling with somebody,
Now they've got some
it's for real.
little local rings now out around it, but these are guys with no muscles at all. You know, white as a sheet.
No muscle wrestling.
And they'll have they had them
Them guys back then didn't have a whole lot of muscles either. They had more bellies,
Yeah.
more big bellies than there were big muscles. That was before steroids.
I guess so.
That's before anybody.
Steak, potatoes, and biscuits.
That was one thing when I started seeing all that wrestling out of Atlanta. I was like, man, these guys, They work out. They got muscles. I've never seen a wrestler with muscles. That was unheard of.